Okay, guys, it is episode 4 of More Than the Game podcast. The great Andre Moore and Tim Wilshire here. I'll let you start, Andre. Now, we wanted to pay respects to the people of the land, didn't we?
Oh yeah, always got to do that. First of all, pay our respects to the original owners of the land that we're gathered on today. Well, you're in New Zealand. I'm sure there's some indigenous people there that deserve respect as well too. But I'm obviously talking about the people from that inhabited this land, here in Australia, thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of years ago. So I'd like to pay my respects to the past and present owners of these other land I'm on right now.
Yeah, much respect. So, where did you want to start today, my friend? There's been a bit of.
Oh wow! I got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to do. Want to talk about.
Okay,
I mean, it's not all basketball related too, because we are called More Than a Game, right? But I want to first of all start off by acknowledging the fact that I made a mistake on our last podcast, thinking that you didn't shout out the Brisbane Bullets, whose hat I am rocking today because
is that a Brisbane Bullets hat? That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool hat.
Oh yeah. I'm having a bad hair day, but I said, what better hat to wear than the people who brought me to this country, the Brisbane Bullets. Shout out to Brian Curl, BK. Yeah, but I like to start off by saying a big thank you to starting with yourself, because you guys, school holidays are upon us. We're gonna have school holidays starting today here in Australia, and I'm putting on a few clinics throughout the holidays, and not every family is able to afford to come along to my. Now, not that I charge astronomical prices for my clinics, but they are, there is a bit of a cost, and even the smallest cost can be very hard on some families. So as I put out the proposal a few weeks ago, as you're well aware, to get sponsors to come on board to generously donate dollars to enable a lot of these families from the disadvantaged families or dysfunctional families to have their kids come along to the clinics. And you, my friend, one of the first people to dig deep in your pocket, and I really want to appreciate, show some love and appreciation to you here in this public forum platform. So thank you very much for your donation, your kind donation for your organization, and really appreciate that. And
Always.
Yeah, I really much love for that. And then a couple other people, a good friend of mine by the name of Darren Long, who's a property developer. I'd like to thank him as well. And then the lovely Angela McCarthy, who's a tireless worker at the PA hospital here in Brisbane, who's decided to help out with a bit of money as well. So shout out to you guys. There's a few other people that are impending that may come on board as well too. So thank you guys for your help. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah. Now I'd also like to segue into something that's very, very big that's happened to me the last few days is shoe talk.
Tell me what's you got this pair of shoes. Tell me what's going on.
I was just about 7 months ago, a lovely lady here he lives here in Brisbane called named Kathleen Cameron, approached me about a shoe line that she wanted to. She already had a shoe line in place. It's called Basilica Shoe. That's her company, Basilica. That's them right there. That's the logo.
Basilica.
Yeah, Basilica has a whole bunch of shoes. That's her company, Kathleen's company. And she wanted to do a line of shoes for myself.
Okay.
So I actually approached her online saying, asked her about some shoes she was promoting. I said, do they come in size 17s? that snowballed into a relationship that is going into 7 months and finally come to fruition. We've come up with a new shoe called the A-Train.
Yep.
On a line called Glory by Kathleen Cameron. Well, that's the actual name of the shoe, but the A-Train line is the first ever sporting line that she's come up with. So I'm very, very proud, to be at this stage of my life, my career, to have a signature shoe. If you allow me, I will show you guys what the shoe looks like. It's a cool box. It's made in Italy, so it's a high-end product, and it's not a shoe that I'm trying to compete with guys like Michael Jordan. I'm sure you guys have heard of Michael Jordan. I'm not trying to compete with guys like him. I'm trying to go into the lane of people like, or organizations, or sorry, fashion lines like Prada and Gucci and those type of things. This is a very high-end made shoe. This is the shoe itself. Comes in a nice little bag here. Got the patent leather on both sides. Quite fancy sort of shoe. Very well made. You know, Italians are known for really, you know, being really high class and very creative with their designs.
Yep.
Shoe. The main thing I'm really excited about is that it has my name and my likeness in the tongue. That's my new logo right there. You know, we got my name.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. Very good.
Yeah, that's my shoe. So the Basilica.com is the website where people can go to purchase the shoe, because I've been promoting it, you know, on Facebook and social media and all that. But Basilica, Basilica. Just think of a basilica in Rome. I think that's a famous cathedral in Rome. That's Kathleen's name for her company and all that. So I'm really proud. I mean, I'm really proud and really thankful to Kathleen for bringing me on board. It's a blessing. I'll be 57 in a few more days, and here I am with a shoe with my likeness and my name on it. You know, and I'm really proud of it. So I'm shamelessly proud. Shamelessly promoting it as well too. So there you go. That's my shoe talk right there for the day. You have any questions you want to throw at me about it?
No, not really any questions. Just comments. Just really cool looking shoe. I love the name. I like the design.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people do like to collect.
That's true. There's a shoe
collect basketball boots, and I have some friends over in that sort of area around the Gold Coast. I've got a friend who collects. He's got about 40 pairs of bloody basketball boots.
They're affectionately called sneakerheads.
Yeah.
Who collect shoes, you know.
Because there's so many that come out, and you see, because there's so many players in the NBA. There's like 600 players in the NBA. All of them are going to have different shoes and stuff. And
right, there's only a handful that actually get their own line though. The Kyrie.
Yeah, they get their own line, and
Kevin Durant.
You got 20 different types of Jordans, and you got all these different
right
Nike ones, and
What would be your all-time favorite shoe yourself? You have a favorite shoe?
I mean, if I was a shoe collector, I'd probably be able to tell you that answer, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite. I'm probably more about. It's a hard one, Andre. It's something I haven't really thought about, but that's a good question. I might get you an answer.
Hopefully this one will be before it's all over. This will be your favorite shoe.
Yeah, it's a good shoe, man.
Yeah,
very good shoe.
I remember Gary Payton had a shoe out years ago that I like Nike put on. It was really classy. I like the glove, even though he's a little man. He has some. They did a good job with his line of shoes, like GP. The glove.
I guess if it's anything, I like more of a colourful shoe than not. So I like a lot of mixed colours is for me, I think.
All right. Well, this is only the beginning right here with this shoe right here. This is my first line. Yeah. We hopefully we'll have more colorways down the track. You know, we just you have to crawl before you walk. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you know, just early stages, and then there's apparel. We'll look at apparel down the track and all that, and hopefully people will come on board with this product and support it. And, you know, even if we don't, even if I sell one or two pair of shoes, I'm happy that I was able to experience this. You know, but I've seen I've got some pretty good feedback so far from people. You know, family and friends from all over. You know, different places I've played at, places I've lived at.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago, France, Spain, Canada. You know, people from all over. So we get a few people from each of those territories. You know, looking pretty good. You know, down the track.
Yeah. So, you got anything else on your list you want to talk about there, mate? I've got a bit to. I've got some stuff, but.
Oh yeah, we that was the two main things. Helping you guys, acknowledging the owners of the original owners of the land, talking the shoe. Basilica.com is where you can go purchase it again. And now we're going to delve into the NBA and NBL stuff that's going on.
Okay, where I'm going to start now. Is.
Where you want to start it?
There's been a recent announcement of who actually got the #1 pick in the draft.
Oh yeah.
So Detroit Pistons with Ben Wallace in attendance, if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw the big fella there with his hair. Yeah, I hardly recognized him because he had that crazy fro happening. I guess he cut that off back in,
We believe it's the first time that Detroit have ever got the #1 pick in the draft. So this is
very first time in history.
First time, yeah. You go through history, they've had some good picks. They had Grant Hill at #3. They've had all these other picks that, Isaiah Thomas was #2 in his draft all the way back in '98.
Grant wasn't the first pick. I thought he was the first pick with. He was co-rookie of the year with Jason Kidd, wasn't he?
Yeah, Grant Hill was, but he was picked #3. So
who was #1 pick that year? Remember what year?
Big Dog Glenn Robinson.
Big Dog. We got on the Big Dog. Oh yeah. he was a walking bucket, man. The Big Dog, man.
Those three were really good. They're like all three of them should be Hall of Famers. But
Son's in the league too, man. Doing pretty decent. I think he was somewhat Sacramento, somewhere.
Yeah, his son. Yeah. So Detroit, that's a big one. The obvious #1 pick at the moment is Cade Cunningham. That's who they think is going to be the #1 pick.
Right.
He's going to be as good as his potential is sky high. We'll probably
who are they comparing him with?
Let's just have a look at this guy again. He's 6'8", can play point guard, so he's going to step into Detroit and probably be a bit like LeBron.
Okay.
6'8", good scorer. Comparison is a bit like Doncic, Tatum.
He said donkey. We're talking. I thought we were talking Shrek, man. He said donkey.
Doncic. So he's a bit like those guys. It's a bit of a combination. He's ready. He's going to be a top 50 player from day one.
Yeah.
And
what school is he at? Is Cade?
So he came from the Oklahoma State.
Okay. Yeah.
Oklahoma State for Cade Cunningham. So Detroit got the #1 pick. I think Houston have got the 2nd pick. And it'd be interesting. Are they going to go for a big man? Are they going to go for a point guard? There's a couple of different options there.
They need help in almost every position. So yeah.
Usually pick. The way I look at these drafts, they've got to select the best prospect available.
Right. That's the best way to look at it.
And the other thing, just to add on top of the NBA draft talk, so the NBA draft will be the 29th of July, 2021.
Yep.
Yesterday, this is only in the last couple of days, I had the lottery announcement. In the TRSBA, we did a lottery yesterday.
Okay.
We did our lottery yesterday. I did decide to do something I actually filmed it. It's up on YouTube. We had a bit of a discussion. We had all the guys that were in the lottery come on board.
Yeah.
And, I did something a bit different. Now, sometimes I use ping pong balls. Sometimes but yesterday I decided something a bit different. I couldn't find the ping pong balls or wherever they were. I don't know where they were. So I was like, okay, we'll do something different. So I went to the cutlery drawer and I got 10 knives out. And I put a rubber band around them, a little red or a blue or a yellow or some sort of rubber band. And then I basically threw them in this laundry basket, right? Yeah. And then I picked out, when I had a glove, right? I had to use a glove so I didn't cut myself.
Oh, wow.
And then I pick out a knife, and whoever's knife I picked out was got the #1 pick. So that's a bit different, isn't it?
That was a bit of a cutting sort of experience there. Very sharp of you to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was quite interesting. It's all filmed there. It was a bit of fun and games.
I always think you're a very sharp guy. You're a very sharp guy. So that's a literally.
I even threw some jerseys in there too. I had some jerseys just to make it hard to find the knives. I had the Ben Simmons jump shot jersey. I threw that in there.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I had it.
Simmons talk in a few minutes too. Yeah.
Yeah. The Greek Freak, I threw his jersey in there. Kuzma, he was the guy I traded. Otherwise, I could have probably been in that lottery. So it was quite fun. I just thought I'd share that very quickly.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, great. You're very creative, man. Very creative. Congratulations on that one, man. Great idea. Yeah.
But the guy who had the best chance of winning, I think he had a very good chance. He's going to end up with the first 2 picks of the draft. So that's a big win for I think they call them the LA Pens, that team or something.
Okay.
So they're going to have the first 2 picks. This has happened in our draft before, where we had a team that had the first 2 picks. So.
Okay. So yeah. So how about we segue into some Ben Simmons talk?
Yeah, Ben Simmons. So as you know, the Atlanta Hawks knocked out the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
They won Game 7. A lot of blame is going around on the performance of one Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons.
What's your thoughts, and then I'll share my thoughts on that.
So Ben Simmons, I think, just going through a bad patch from the offensive end. The defensive end, he's absolutely nothing wrong with the way he played.
Right.
And the way he passed the ball, he still had 12 assists in Game 7. He was a distributor, so he was really the point guard on the team. So,
yes.
But yeah, there are opportunities where he wasn't. He had a dunk and didn't dunk it, which was just bizarre. So there's just some mental thing going on there about scoring, and his free throw shooting was 34% for the series, which is inexcusable. So there's certainly a lot of issues that have just cropped up now mentally that has just affected him. Whatever they are, I don't know if it's a relationship or if it's something else. But he's still a great player and unfairly sort of singled out. But there is an argument that if he was playing like he did in his second year in the league as an all-star, that there wouldn't have been any issues beating the Atlanta Hawks. But just going through a patch maybe, and he'll be able to get back to how he's meant to play, and the jump shots disappeared. Yeah,
my thoughts are it's all mental. Sports, basketball, any sport is all it's played from the neck up. A lot of times there could be a lot of like you said, insinuating circumstances that could be affecting them away from the court as well. But my thing is that it's a team sport. It's just to hear guys like Joel Embiid, who's a heck of a player and all that, and he has some valid points. But still, to throw your player, your teammate under the bus in front of the media about the situation where he kind of singled out that one incident where he passed the ball to Thibault instead of laying it up, which he should have did. But he's going through some stuff psychologically. When it comes to celebrities, people tend to. There's a word that I posted online the other day called Schadenfreude. It's a French. I don't know. It's not French. It's a German word.
Yeah, Schadenfreude. Yeah.
Schadenfreude. Yeah. The definition is the pleasure derived from by someone.
Someone's misfortune.
Of course, misfortune. Yeah. So that's actually obviously going to come into play as well too, because there's no transparency in sports. We hear about these huge contracts a guy signs or a lady signs, and we expect big things, which is as a public we should expect great performances. But people are human. People have issues that they have to deal with. Now, in saying that, Ben does need to work on his game a lot more in the summer. I don't know how much he's put in the summer on his game. We see the highlights from time to time of him knocking down jump shots and these scrimmages and whatnot. But that could be how much of that is he putting into it, to working on his game, working on his shot and all that type of thing. And I'm sure this is a serious wake up call. But I worry about his trade value, how that's going to play into this off season, because he's obviously going to have to move from Philly, because Philly fans who are some of the most notorious.
Yeah, so 98% likely to be traded.
Yeah, but where and when? I've heard whispers of maybe going with Stephen Clay in Golden State, which probably in theory sounds like a good fit, because he'll have shooting guys who have to require a lot of attention, from the perimeter, which could give him a lot of leeway to do his thing, from the post position or whatever. But who knows? I just wish him the best of luck.
He's still, he's still young. He's been an all-star already. He's one of the top 5 defensive players in the league.
Oh, yeah, he's a generation. He's still a generational talent with the way,
as far as point guard skills and passing skills, he
16.
he in my mind is in the top 10 in the NBA in that category.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of good things about him. So just you need to, I guess, I can see why Philly fans are disappointed. I can see all that, but at the end of the day,
play against his dad, obviously over this league here, Dave, and I'm sure Dave, knowing Dave, he's his support, his guidance will help him, a whole lot.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. But the other thing too, I mean, I've heard a couple of this, and I'm going to finish on this sort of bit here.
Okay.
The last sort of point I want to make is the call from people like Andrew Gaze to say, look, he should be going to the Olympics.
Oh,
he should be part of the Australian team. He's better than most of those guys, if not all of them.
Most definitely.
He should be there, and they should, be and get that Australian team environment, because it's contagious. Environment. It's something you'd love to be a part of, if anybody. But
who wouldn't want to represent their country? You're on
the Andrew Gaze side on that.
Pardon me?
You think you're on the Andrew Gaze side that he should?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He should, everybody should. If you get the opportunity to represent the country you're born in, that's one of the highest honors you can achieve. In any sport or any sort of field. To be able to represent your country in any sort of way, you must. The opportunity doesn't come along often. Guys like Gaze, Shane Hill were able to do it on 4 or 5 times, I think, a 20-year span, which is crazy. Which is amazing. And I think even the great Lauren Jackson, who I consider to be one of the top 5 basketball players ever to come out of this country. Real pride, so the people would love to see him. I hope he could change his mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's bad that if he doesn't do it, and I think it's another cross in the against him.
I think it'll be to his benefit to go. As far as his brand and all that, to be out there, show.
So that's Ben Simmons. Let's talk a bit about the playoffs. I mean, we can't take anything away from what the Atlanta Hawks are doing.
Right. Everybody focusing on how they failed. It's about how the Atlanta Hawks are doing their thing as well too, led by who? The little ice tray.
I mean, this guy is amazing, isn't he? Trae Young. What a game one. I mean, he had such a rough game 7, and they still beat Philadelphia. But game 1 against a very good Milwaukee Bucks team.
Playmaking ability, the range. The floater, his float game is just.
And the thing is, I mean, I was watching the game. I honestly thought that, J. Rue Holiday was doing a big physical with him, and I still think to get 48 points on a lot of it on him, it just shows what sort of day it was for Trae Young.
Nothing. He's quick too. He's quick and he's elusive and he's smart.
He's couldn't really fault his performance. Hit the free throws down the stretch, and that was a clutch play.
Talk about some of his teammates, Huter.
The biggest reason that they won this game as well was the play of the Baptist John Collins, and also the Kerner Clint Capella. Those 2 guys are absolutely phenomenal games.
What's his name? Kevin Huter, Hunter.
And Herter as well. So Herter was
Herter.
He was the man in game 7. So he was the guy that got 30 points in game 7, I think.
Yeah.
Still played well in game 1 as well. So
he looks like a choir boy too.
Yeah. So do you know my nickname? Have you heard my Have you heard my nickname for Kevin Herter?
What is it?
This is a bit funny, but so we call him Fanta Pants.
Fanta Pants. Okay.
Fanta Pants.
What's the story behind that?
Okay, so Fanta Pants is that's his nickname in fantasy basketball.
Okay.
So, but Fanta Pants, the reason they call him that is he's got red hair. Okay, so he's like a red hair.
Yeah, he's probably
so basically, he's it's envisaged that his hair down in that region is also the color of Fanta. So Fanta Pants.
I don't like the visuals on there, man.
So that's the reason he's called Fanta Pants. Yeah.
I think he looks like Richie Cunningham from Happy Days. That's what he reminds me of, Richie Cunningham.
Yeah,
but he's a hell of a player, hell of a shooter, hell of a player.
He's been playing well. I mean, and they've been able to get away with Bogdanovic not doing a lot.
I know he's on a bad leg. He's got one bad wheel.
Gallinari's been really good off the bench.
Gallinari's smooth, man. I know I never really watched him play. It's good. That's what I'm loving about this playoffs, because you get to see people that you don't normally see. Get their shine. And sort of emerge superstars.
So I watched that game and I had a feeling. I said, look, I know they've won that game on the road. I had a look and said, well, what are the odds say now? Who is the favorite now to win that series? And Milwaukee are still the favorites. Milwaukee are
still a favorite. Why do you think he's still favored?
I don't know, but I decided to throw my money on Atlanta. I put $50 on. I put a little wager on Atlanta at $2.50.
I might follow your lead too, buddy. Might follow.
I think that's Atlanta. I can't see them losing 4 times or against them. I can't.
Especially when they go back to ATL. When they go to Atlanta, the crowd, they're gonna be waiting for them. Hey, don't forget about Lemon Pepper Lou. Lemon Pepper Lou was been playing great for them as well.
Yeah, I think it isn't sort of. I mean, they've had a huge team. They sort of played really well as a team. I mean, game 1 they had Giannis and J-Rue Holiday both having really good games as well, and they still beat them. So
Giannis is playing much better in the playoffs now than he did last year. I give him a lot of credit.
But I don't. Milwaukee just don't look that deep. They just look very.
Well, people have pointed out that Lopez is a bit of he hurts him when he's in there because he can't. He's not mobile enough. He shoots that lone.
So I disagree. I respectfully disagree with that. I think he's a good defender. I think he's actually been in defensive teams before, in all defensive teams.
Yeah.
They played him 20 minutes in game 1. Punch Bob played 15 minutes. That's Bobby Portis. I think they should be. I think they should see how they go playing Lopez a bit more minutes.
He's having to defend the pick and roll. He's having a hard time with that.
Yeah.
Plays off. Trey just feasts off of that.
Well, they need to have. What they need to do is they need to put Giannis at center, and they need to put.
That's what they say. Yeah.
They put Lopez at power forward or something like that. They need to just change a few things around.
Yeah. But it's great. It's great.
But they aren't very deep. I mean, PJ Tucker's is good at what he does, but he's only only going to be so good.
You like destroying people, fouling them, and but that's his game. He plays. He hit that three in the corner.
And I don't think. I mean, they are starting to miss this DiVincenzo guy because if they had him, they might have had some depth.
He's another redhead, right? Another red. He's a ringer too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a ringer. Yeah, he's very good.
For you American people, ringers mean that's a slang the Aussies use over here for people that are redhead. It has to do with the orangutans, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But he's sorely missed because Pat Connaughton is not a player that you want on the court for 30 minutes, and he's
a bit streaky.
Yeah, he's not good for that amount of time.
Right.
So that's where I'm seeing the weakness, and that's unless something changes, I can't see the Hawks losing. I just can't.
Imagine they still had. What was the guy they traded to the Pacers, a star player for the Pacers now? Just played Milwaukee, point guard. Imagine they still had him.
Brogdon.
Yeah. They still had him. It would be.
Well, they got rid of Bledsoe. They got rid of Brogdon. So they got rid of a couple of good guards there. But
just Brogdon more than this Bledsoe. Shout out to Bledsoe as well too.
Yeah. And Atlanta. Remember, Atlanta still DeAndre Hunter's out, and he's probably one of their best defenders.
Oh yeah.
Cam Reddish he's okay, but they haven't sort of utilized him.
Yeah.
So there's some players there. I mean, I think even Solomon Hill played it pretty well in game 1.
Solomon looking really good out there. I remember he used to have that big hairdo a few years ago when he's with who was he with before? Pelicans, was he?
I can't remember where. It might have been.
His haircut, his hairstyle. He always reminded me of this one of our black leaders, famous black leaders. God, just on the top of Frederick Douglass. You remember Frederick Douglass, the way his hair was, the way he used to wear it back in the day.
Yeah.
Who's a great black leader. So shout out to Frederick Douglass.
So I mean, I guess we've got to sort of acknowledge the fact that I think, to me, Milwaukee are a little bit lucky that the Nets had all those injuries. I think the Nets would have been certainly, they were nearly right. I mean, we had a rolled ankle from Irving, missed the rest of that series.
It's a story of this playoffs,
KD had to do it all himself. James Harden was not very fast.
Right.
Was shooting okay, but they just didn't have enough to beat. And the Bucks were sort of at the top of their game. They had Middleton was great in Game 7, I think it was.
Injuries is part of the game, though. That's just the fact. Injuries are part of the game. So.
And I think this series will live and die with Middleton. So if Middleton doesn't shoot well, they're not going to win. He didn't shoot well in Game 1 against Atlanta. I think he was 6 of 23.
Yeah, Middleton's a heck of a player, but he can be a bit streaky as well too.
Yeah. So, but they're doing a good job. They're defending. Atlanta got a good defense as well. You got to remember.
Yeah. So that's the east. That's the east side.
The west. So we
finals.
So with the Clippers, were you surprised that they knocked Utah out? I wasn't.
No, because I said throughout the series that as great a defensive player as the big fella is the Stifle Tower, he was also going to be a detriment to them on the other end, other end of the court, trying to defend guys, out of the perimeter. And Ty Lue played, he did a hell of a job coaching and exploiting that very weakness. It's perimeter defense. That was their undoing. Yeah, and then I think we can all say that PG-13 is actually living up to his playoff P moniker. He's would you say I'd say he's redeemed himself a bit. Quite a bit.
It's a tough one because he's been consistently good. He's been probably averaging 30 points a game in the playoffs. He's been really, really good. They probably shouldn't have lost Game 2 against Phoenix. I think we'll get to that. But they were right there. They were up by 1. They had 2 shots with 6 seconds to go. 8 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah, Monty drew up a hell of a play.
PG-13 misses both free throws. Makes those free throws. It's a different game.
It came down to 0.9. Was it 0.7 seconds?
It was. So it was, and then they stuffed around, and there was 0.9 seconds to go, and that lob pass to Ayton.
Perfect lob pass.
Jay Crowder.
By Crowder, yeah.
Which they took 20 minutes to review what was going on.
Yeah. Who's the big fella? The Clippers big fella, Zubac. Somebody was talking about how he was just a little bit more athletic. Somebody made the point that his elevator just went up one. Aiden's elevator just went up one more floor more than Zubac, and he was able to out athletic
jump him.
I'm about to use the word athletics. He out jumped the people. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but that's the Phoenix are looking great. I mean, and they haven't had CP3 yet. He's playing today.
He will be playing today. Okay, yeah.
So Kawhi's not.
Kawhi's injury might be a little more serious than we think.
But they're still saying day to day, so they're still not giving us an update for anything for the next game. So
right,
you never know. He could turn up in Game 4. You just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This will be an interesting game because the Clippers are at home. It's a must-win game today for the Clippers. They have to win.
What about the Kobe comparisons of Booker? We've been playing playing lights out. We've been trying to compare him to Kobe. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I think Kobe can't shoot like this. Kobe doesn't shoot like this guy does. I mean, Kobe's the greatest fadeaway jumper. You get in there and dunk, layups.
And Kobe was full-time all-defensive player on all defensive teams, 9 times first team.
Yeah,
So
Booker's just a very smooth shooter.
this
Slick.
ice.
You
Oh,
know,
he's
he
lovely to watch. Lovely.
can't block. He's very hard to block, very hard to defend.
Elevates with his J.
Elevates with his J. Just an absolute
Beautiful form on his shot. You got the killer instinct though. You got the Mamba mentality though. He got the Mamba mentality definitely.
It's getting there. It's definitely getting there, and he's definitely he's the best player on the team. That's for sure at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Even though
Mostly followed by the big fella, DA. DA is right there.
Yeah, and obviously CP3 has had a very good year at age 35, or I think it's 30. Yeah.
How about the guy Cam Payne coming in?
Oh,
his thing. Can not talk about
20.
that.
He had 29 points, I think, in game 2.
That little sideways jump with his. He be knocking that thing down. He's so quick too, get to the hole. He used to be the guy that used to do the pregame dance with Westbrook. They come out and do their little dance thing. Westbrook go out, and start wreaking havoc on team. He'd be on the bench. So now he's doing his thing. So that's a lesson for all you young people out there that you can emerge. He actually made a point of that. You never know when your time's going to come. You got to seize the opportunity and make the most of it, which he's doing.
He's the most. I think at one stage someone considered that he was the worst player in the NBA. Now he's
I think he was voted one of the worst players ever in the NBA.
But look at him now. He's going to have a big role next year too. So look out for next year for Cameron Payne.
You remember the rapper?
He could start next year.
You remember Kubo D?
Sorry.
You remember a rapper called Kubo D? Kubo D?
No, can't remember.
He made a song called "How You Like Me Now."
Yeah.
Like me now. I'm getting busier.
Yeah. So
making you dizzier. Yeah.
So talking about the Clippers, I mean, I like the way that they're sort of playing as a team. I really like Reggie Jackson's playoff performance.
Reggie, you know what they call him now, right? Because his name, he has the same namesake as a very famous baseball player, Reggie Jackson, who he's called Mr. October. So they call this Reggie Jackson Mr. June. He's doing his work in June. He got that swag, man. I love his swag, man. He got the glasses happening, way he be dancing out there on people on the court. His jump shot is butter. So he's another one that I never watched much, prior to this playoffs. Who's emerged and come out. He and Campaign. They both will have Brinks trucks, which we call armor guard trucks over here, backing up to their back door after the season because they're going to get paid in full. Shout out to Rakim. Rakim and Eric B and Rakim. They made a song called "Paid in Full." These guys will get paid in full, big time.
And what about our boy Terrence Mann?
Terrence Mann, he's another one gonna get paid in full as well too, when it's all over. Because he's come out. He got the hair going, a little baby face and all that. But he's a little assassin, man. He's an assassin.
I mean, I just think this guy's actually a really good 3-point shooter as well. He's been very
he got a beautiful shot. Yeah, I was surprised at it.
39 points in Game 7 against Utah. That was obviously the big difference. That was huge.
Yeah, and what about Pat Bev? Chicago's own Pat Beverly, coming off the bench, man. First of all, accepting the role because he used to be a starter, accepting his role and making the most of it. Coming out, dog on defense.
Yep.
Showing that real, true Chicago grit that he was honed on. He was raised on the west side of Chicago. I'm from the south side. He's from the west side.
And then there's a few minutes where they've got the little playoff Rondo and Cousins playing.
Yeah. Big Cousin came in and had 11 points that one game. Big fella, he dunked all over Zaric. The dunk over Zaric. That was crazy. Then he kind of looked at him and all that. He's kind of keeping his emotions under control as well for the most part. He's not snapping, at the referees. So shout out to Cousins as well too. He's making him, for all the injuries he's had. I'm happy to see him doing well.
Yeah. So Ty Lue doing a great job. So look forward. Hopefully the Clippers can win today.
Looking forward to that. Was that?
I said I hope the Clippers get a win today to make it a series. That's
I'm happy. I'll be happy for whoever comes out of both. Go West. Either one of those.
Great. I mean, Phoenix, the last time they were in the finals, well documented, 1993, they lost to the Bulls, if you remember.
Right.
That's the last time they've made it to the finals. The Clippers, I can't think of a time that team's ever made it to the finals.
Atlanta's made that was the first win they got in the finals
Conference
since
finals.
69, I think it was. 69, I think it was.
Yeah. So, and the Bucks, it's been probably since the time that Kareem was around.
Yeah, they still living. Yeah, they still got the
Louis Alcindor.
yeah, the ghost of Kareem and the Big O.
Yeah.
Who, they won together. Now that was a super team back in the day too. And I think they had like Bobby Daniels and a few other people. So they had a super team way back in the day with that Milwaukee Bucks squad. So yeah, it's great, man. It's been a great series. I think we covered everybody from the NBA standpoint on my little list right here. We covered everybody on the list here. Doc Rivers, I got it. Doc Rivers from Maywood, Illinois, where my dad was raised at. He's got a lot of work to do over summer. I think he has a bit of leeway he'll get because of his first season, but next season he has to really put it together for his team. All right. How about the NBL now? We're going to go into the NBL. Enough NBA talk?
Yeah, so we're currently in the grand final series. Melbourne are up 2-0 against the Perth Wildcats.
We obviously know why that is. First of all, because they're great. They got a great side. They got an all-star squad. But also because Perth don't have no Bryce Cotton. And, everybody knows that Bryce Cotton is the main fabric. I've been working on that one all night. He's the main fabric of that team. He's the fabric. Get it? Fabric, cotton. But without him, in the lineup, it's going to be tough for them to get past United with that star-studded squad. But it's have you watched any of the series?
No, I've just sort of caught a bit of highlights. That's about it. It's been pretty busy with stuff, but it looks like there's game 3 on today. It looks like. Yeah,
7:30 tonight. The game will be televised.
So that's the next 3 games are in Melbourne, I think. They started out in Perth and they're playing the rest of the series in Melbourne.
Yeah, but the NBL has a quick turnaround. They'll be kicking back off in October, and they'll be introducing the new Jack Jumpers team down in Tassie.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think they'll be reintroducing 3 imports per team to the league, which is will be great. So there you go, NBL talk right there.
Yeah, no, it's been a good season, but Melbourne looking just good enough, I think, from what we're seeing.
With too much talent. Without Cotton, it's going to be a tough ask for Perth to snatch a game. Maybe they might get 1 game out of it. It's a best of 5 series. I know we lost to Perth in the grand finals 35 years ago. It was just a best of 3 series. So I wish they'd had the best of 5 format. We could have probably recovered or whatever. Good season for us still,
The NBA always have a 7-game format. That's been going for quite a while in the 7-game format, isn't it?
Yeah, we have 30 odd teams.
Yeah. What else is news, mate? You got anything else on your list there?
Yeah, no, we talked about everything, man. I'm really glad I was able to give those shouts out to you guys for your help. And my clinics, again, coming up soon. This Monday, Tuesday, there's still spots available for anybody who wants to come along. You want to come along to the clinics, just send me an email on bigfeet, BIGFEAT 41 at hotmail.com. And plenty of spots available. We'll be at the Brisbane City Indoor Sports Center in Cooperoo here in Brisbane.
Yep.
And shout out to everybody at the Brisbane Indoor Sports Center for letting us use their facility for the camps and the clinics. Yeah.
Cool, man. No, I don't think there's too much happening at the moment. We've got in Queenstown, this mountains are going to be opening up pretty soon. So,
all right,
bit of as you've probably seen. All of a sudden, Sydney's got got some cases with COVID. So basically,
Oh yeah. I heard that.
he
How did this cluster start? How did it start up?
there was a limousine driver
Oh,
that wasn't vaccinated and had been sort of transporting airline employees from the airport. Wasn't vaccinated, doesn't believe that's how he got it, but he reckons he somehow got it in the community. But it's one of those things that's hard to know. But he's a limousine driver, and he's passed it on, and now I think the total's up to about 40 something over the last week. It's 40 or 50. So they've decided that everything's shut. Flights in and out of Sydney are down for the time being. I think I'm pretty sure. New Zealand have stopped those flights across.
The young fellow is supposed to go down this week. He's supposed to go to visit his family and friends down in Melbourne. So the flights to Melbourne should be still good, right?
Melbourne's open again, and Melbourne and Brisbane have we've still got to be very careful because it's still got to be very, very careful.
Right.
And
we're not out of the woods yet. Still.
No, we're never going to be out of the woods. Never going to be out. So it's just a matter of living day to day, you know. So
cautiously, yeah.
Yep.
All good, yeah.
That's
all right.
I think that's not too much else that I'll just see if I write anything else down. So we sort of covered off on the lottery decisions.
Yep.
Detroit winning the pick, that was quite good. We've been talking NBA playoffs. We've been talking Ben Simmons, NBL Finals.
I got everything on my little paper right here has been covered. I'm very happy.
Yeah, the shoe, which is pretty outstanding. So all of that, yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Go get the shoe, folks. Go get the shoe.
Anyway, that's been another episode of More Than a Game podcast, number 4. Go get the A-Train shoes. And we'll probably have a debrief around the NBA finals sometime. That'll be very, very good. Actually, sorry, I've got a friend coming. Next Wednesday. So only 5 days away, assuming that everything works out. He's coming from Tasmania.
Okay.
Flying over, I think via Melbourne. So hopefully from Melbourne to Queenstown, Hobart.
Who's his friend?
So good. Goes a long way back. We went, we're teenagers together.
Let's go way back. Yeah, that's good.
And he's obviously he's coming here just by himself. He's got family that he's going to leave behind for a week. So
all right, tell him I said what's up.
Yeah, so he's in the TRBSA as well. He loves he's a huge fan of the Atlanta Hawks. All of a sudden.
All right, all of a sudden he's jumped on that bandwagon, huh?
Well, no, since probably the last few years since they drafted Trae Young, I think.
Okay, so he's being rewarded now for his loyalty, which is great.
Yeah, he sort of decided to jump on the bandwagon when they drafted him, and all of a sudden he's got all the Atlanta gear and the Atlanta hats.
Somewhere the human highlight film, Dominic Wilkins. Somewhere he's pretty. He must be celebrating him and people like Spud Webb, the little Spud Webb, all with the Atlanta Hawks. Kevin Willis, all those guys, yeah. Long history they have. Yeah. John Drew going way back, yeah.
Okay, mate, that's been another episode. I've got to keep rolling, so good to see you, my friend.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, we look forward to catching up again. Shout out to everybody who watched the show.
Thank you, man. Share it around on Facebook and YouTube. It will be on.
For sure, man. Take care. Say hi to the missus too.